What's up, comic book junkies? Welcome to the Nighttiger Comic Lair. I'm Mike Smith, your host. I got some great stories, cool collectibles, and of course, plenty of comics. So stay tuned. All right, so let's get started. So I picked up some hardware or some tools. I got me a new cutting board. So if you go to Walmart for $12, you can get this plus two more smaller wood cutting boards, which is great because you can keep this one to cut up your comic book backing boards or whatever you need and give the other two to the wife, and she'll just love you and adore you. All right. So I went to my local LCS. Like to stop in there. He has always some cool dollar books. So I did pick up a few things, and I brought my 82-year-old neighbor with me. I was shocked he wanted to go in. He actually bought some comics. And if you don't know my neighbor, he's never driven a car. He grew up in New York, never uh, had a VCR, DVD player, doesn't know how to use a cell phone. He's a really cool guy, but it's just a great experience meeting his friend. So to see him buy some comics, it was awesome. So I picked up these. So this is number one. And what this is the Sojourn publication from the Joe Kubert School of Art in Dover, New Jersey. And this is from 1977. And for $1, I got issue one. Now, this contains art by Giordano, Wildy, Elias, Kubert, Severin, Bissett, Harris, Kelly, Argones. It's really cool. Comes with a poster inside. It has all this neat different art. Here's some panel art of a strip called The Eagle. Who's that by? That's by Severin. And it's got different features by each of those artists I mentioned. And then it has a poster by Bissett right here. These are really giant. So for $1, I thought it would be something cool to show you. And I think I'll just hang this on the wall as part of my collectibles. I like to have a lot of unique things hanging on my wall when people come in to look at the comic room. So here it advertises all the features on front. And not only that, but he had issue number 2. And I think it only went for 2 issues, as far as I can tell on my research. So this is going to be kind of fun to read. Here you got a tour feature by Kubert. And what else you got? Do you have it? Oh, there's another great poster right here. So never heard of these before. Bronze Age. Thought it was cool. Wanted to share it with you. Okay. So I went to Staples. I'm looking at my comic room door over here. Let's see if we can look at it. And it has a poster of Black Panther, and I got that as a gift, I think, from Surf Blue. But to tell you the truth, I don't really like it. And so I thought, I want to cover that up with something cool and unique. So I went down and I printed out some comic book covers to go over there. And I think I could print out probably another 2 or 3 more to fit on the door. And I'll leave that poster up in honor of Surf Blue. I'm going to put these posters over the top. So we got Target Comics. I don't even know what number this is. It's a really early issue. Number 4. And that silver streak on the cover. This is by Novelty Press. Man, I'd love to find that book. Never, ever seen one for sale. The White Streak. I got that. This cost me $11, I think. Something like that. Maybe a little more. Maybe 14 or something. And then this is issue number 5. And I like this one better. It's got Silver Streak really gigantic on the cover. I actually like the picture better on the other one, but I like the title better on this one. Space Hawk, Lucky Bird, City Editor, T-Man. Just so cool. And, I didn't even think to tell him to do it in glossy, which next time I will. And then I printed out a couple covers for some colorless comics that I got from BWD. The only thing is I got it wrong. I thought they were jungles and they're jumbos. But for now, I put the jungle covers on them. So Jungle Comics number 10. And I'll have to print out the jumbo 10 and put that on there. And then Jungle Comics number 24, which actually I got it wrong. I was trying to do it for memory. I actually need Jumbo Comics cover number 42 for this one. But anyways, just to see how good it looks if you just print out the covers at Staples for your coverless comics. They'll be nice until I get the jumbo covers. So I went to my LCS. I got those Sojourn number 1 and number 2 for $1. I also picked up this. Now these are reprint titles, of course. Marvel Tales number 98, but it's reprinting the death of Gwen Stacy. I don't have the original, and I didn't have this Marvel Tales issue, and I wanted to read the story. I can't remember if I ever actually read the story of the death of Gwen Stacy. So for $1, I get to actually hold a comic book in my hand and go ahead and read it and enjoy it. Marvel Tales number 98 from December 78. And he also had part 2 for $1. Now these are low grade, but this is number 99 from June 79. Again, Marvel Tales, second part of the death of Gwen Stacy story. So I'm really looking forward to reading that. I know it's an iconic story. And I think I may have read it in a reprint in the Marvel hardback at some point a long time ago. And then the last book I got from them, this is a really high grade. So it's probably like an 8.0 copy, but another reprint title, Marvel's Greatest Comics. I'm actually diligently looking through these every time I go to a shop for the Silver Surfer covers in high grade. So for $1, number 42, iconic Jack Kirby cover of The Thing versus Silver Surfer. It's also the first appearance or the first time the Silver Surfer wears the boxer briefs. And this is from 1973, number 42. And I actually have to rebag this one in a Mylar. I got it in one of those Pro lines, and it's starting to wrinkle, as you can tell. So I got to get that in a Mylar. But very cool. And I always like finding these key issues of the Marvel's Greatest Comics in really high grade. And believe it or not, they're actually starting to pick up in price from like $10, $15 to $20. Okay, so that's from that shop. So I broke open the rest of my Golden Age slab. So I have my Marvel keys left. I'll wait on those. But for now, I busted open this one. It was a 1.5 Planet Comics. I did read it. It's got a killer cover. It's from 1946. The stories and art in here were just not really that good. I was a little bit disappointed. And I always noticed that I've read a few Planet Comics, they're not quite as good as the Jungle titles. And I don't know why. Broke this one open. I got to read this one. So this was a 3.0 Universal grade, All American Comics, Golden Age Green Lantern, number 81. I think I may have read this online at some point. This one I didn't. This I just pulled off the shelf when I was doing a live show. All American 74. Then I broke this one open. It's a 3.0 Cowpuncher. And I have to show you the interior splash page on this. From 1948, number 4. All Good Girl panels, stories. Everything is Good Girl in here. I mean, a lot of the girls go the whole issue, the whole stories with ripped blouses. But this first one's really cool. This splash page is killer. Check that out. I can't wait to read this one. It's really got so much great art in it. A lot of good girl panels, great art. I'm hoping the story's just as good. So that's Cowpuncher #4 from 1948. You know, I remember a time in my collecting career where I never owned a Cowpuncher, and I thought, oh, they're so expensive. I'll never own one. Now I have 2 or 3 issues. Same with the All American. There was a point where I just started collecting Golden Age, and I'm like, I'll never own those. They're just too expensive, too hard to find. Now I got 5 issues of All American in my collection. Headline Comics, same thing. I was fascinated with this title because it's actually a World War II Junior Commandos. Junior Rangers. And I broke that one open 3.0. And I've got quite a bit of these now in my collection. Genghis Khan cover. A lot of Nazi stories inside, Japanese fighting, World War II stuff. One issue has the first appearance of the first atomic superhero, which I do have. Again, busted this one open, 2.0, another All-American Comics, 54. This one was so huge, I had to put it in a 8-inch Golden Age comic sleeve. And 2 more. I remember I always wanted to have at least one issue of Smash Comics, and I was on a hunt for a while. I finally found one that I could afford for the grade. This one was slabbed at a 2.0. Just a great cover. Spy Smasher Wax the Japs. Screams Golden Age, World War II era. I love Golden Ages. I'm such a nerd. But this one was cool. So this is Ranger Comics. I got quite a few of these now. And this is really one that's sought after by collectors because it's a really well done hanging and bondage cover by Joe Doolin. Now, this one was a 2.5. This book can be mighty expensive. Look at the horse's face. Great detail. Just a great cover. Fiction House is notorious for their fading oranges and yellows. Probably tried to get away with the cheapest amount of ink they could. I mean, look at the fading in that. Look at this one yellow. No fading at all. And you're going to see another Fiction House in here has exactly, it's all orange and it's all faded. Okay, so on to the books that I bought online. And I believe that these are all Golden Age. So let's look at some comic books in the raw, which is my favorite. I hate slabs. I'm almost done breaking them all open. So there was a seller, and as I was looking through new listings, Golden Age, he was actually listing in real time, and I kept refreshing the page, So like every 15 minutes, a new book would show up, and every one that he listed was $5. And there were some other ones I should have grabbed from 1937. I mean, they were just reprint books. There was Wings #16, first appearance of Captain Wings, missing the centerfold. That one went quick. I picked up this one because it's a really decent copy, and it's feature book from David A. McKay Publishers, a Blondie, Homemade Laughs, #40 from 1944. So that was $5. The shipping was $8.85. So we're talking, it came to $14.89 total. I actually read this already. Tremendously enjoyed. I love Blondie. I love watching the early black and white serials, reading the comics. What I love about Blondie, it's like timeless. It's all about home life, and you can relate to it in any era of time. But Let's look at that one. So nice green cover too. I mean, it's a really nice copy, except for the spine is just a little beat up. I don't even know if the spine is beat up. It looks weird. It's a thick book and it has printing there. I don't know if those are words. For me, it looked like maybe pieces are missing, but now that I look at it, it looks like it might be some words printed on there. They're so small you can't even read them. I don't know. Anyways, so this is the second book I picked up. This is a book I've looked at in the past. Of the Good Girl Wings covers, it's probably the least desirable, but nevertheless, it's still cool. And it's got wolves on the cover. It's number 102. I paid $5 for it, but it's really faded. A Bob Lovers cover. So this one with tax and shipping was $17.42 from February 1949. Would you pay $5 for that? I mean, it's the dang tax and shipping that gets you, man. It's really kind of disappoints you when you find a cheap book and then the other time you go to check out, it's like, it's not cheap anymore. And you all know what I'm talking about. So I saw this book on my comic shop. I thought it was really cool. This is a British edition of this book, and I could not find an American copy of this. But it had a decent price on it, even though it was low grade. And it's full color. So a lot of the UK editions are black and white. This one is actually printed like effects. It's exactly the same as the American. The Man from Planet X. Cool cover, cool title. The series is called Fawcett Movie Comics, and it's number 15 from February 1952. I believe the American version came out in 51, or no, it came out a few months earlier. And this is an actual movie from the 50s. Now, I did read this. It was just so bland. Really, really weird. But I love the title. I think it's just a cool title, The Man from Planet X. And walk into a comic shop or a comic room, see that on the wall, and right away, the title is going to pique your interest. So to make the shipping worthwhile, you try to get a couple books. And I picked up some high-grade Disney winter and Christmas books. So I got two different ones. And I'm always looking for those early Disney winter covers or Christmas covers. So this is February 1948, Walt Disney's Comics and Stories, number 89, Walt Kelly cover, and a really nice copy. It's probably like a 6.5 range. And I paid $37.33 for that. Now for this one, I paid $32.33. But a really nice copy. Golden Age Disney. It's got the older trade dress on, which I like. And then I also got this issue. So this is actually an earlier issue. This is from January 47. And this is number 76. And this is a Christmas cover. So you got Donald dressed like Santa. Huey, Louie, and Dewey dressed as the reindeers. And again, a really beautiful copy of this. This one was the one that cost the most out of the three books, and this one was $45.33. Now, when I bought them, the price was a lot cheaper. I had to add in the tax and the shipping, divided by 3, and then add it to each book. So this book was I think it was like $37 originally. For a high-grade book this early, that's not bad, especially if it's a Christmas cover. So glad to add those to the Christmas Golden Age collection, which means that I'll have more to show in the annual show this coming year. This book I found for $15. It's low grade. It's attached. It's complete. And it's number 34 from 1944, but just a really cool Tarzan cover. This is Bern Hogworth art, and he is just a classic Tarzan artist. Look at the detail. The inking, just for $15. So total actually was free shipping. So it was $20.73. I want to know in the comments below, would you pay $20.73 for a book like this from July 1944? And guys, I want to apologize. I am way behind on doing the secret contest. I have not forgotten about it. I will be calling a winner when I get some more time to do the video. I will be sending out that prize pack. So just stay with me. I'm working on my 200 or 2,000 subscriber giveaway. I got a really packed box of keys, DC and Marvel, Silver Age, Golden Age stuff. I'm going to give someone a heck of a killer collection of books. Right now, I'm just enjoying life and doing a YouTube channel. And I admire people that put out videos constantly, 2, 3 a week, at least even 1 a week. And it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of editing. It takes a lot of work. And right now, I'm just trying to enjoy my comics more, come in the comic room, either read comics, play video games, and just relax. And I've been working a lot more. So, once I'm going to purchase a new laptop. This laptop here is broken. I cannot close the lid, and I can't take it with me anywhere. Once I can get a new laptop and travel with it, I'm going to be doing a lot more videos, a lot more editing. So I found this pretty decent copy. I'd say it's probably a 3.5 to maybe a 4. But Walt Disney's Bear Rabbit does it again. Now, I have the Tar Baby issue, and I didn't have this one. I thought I want to have it in the collection. And Bear Rabbit's really kind of growing on me because I read this, and it was really a fun issue. And Bear Rabbit he's such a trickster. He's even worse than Bugs Bunny. And I'm sure that Bugs Bunny was actually fashioned after him as a character. And this is from 1949, number 208. But it was a pleasant surprise. I read this book here, which was anytime I read a Golden Age Disney, I am always impressed. I always have fun. I laugh out loud. It has a great Christmas ad on the back cover. But I was pleasantly surprised with this feature inside. If I can get to it. Where is that? The other day I opened this up and I went right to it. Huh. Okay. I know what's in here. Okay, here it is. Uncle Remus and Tales of the Bear Rabbit. Now, I'm a kid of the 70s. I grew up watching Song of the South. I did the Disney, what was it called? It was on Disney would come on every Sunday, and then they do like certain movies once a year. The Wide World of Disney came on every Sunday afternoon. Man, those were great times. Okay, we're getting down to the end. So I finally pulled the trigger on this. I had it on my watch list, and they lowered the price a little bit. A great Ogden Whitney cover, and there's like 3 Good Girls in this series covers, and I have 2 of them so far. So I was happy to pick up this pretty nice copy, like a 5.0 copy. I paid $51.60 with shipping and tax. Number 5 from 1948. I think it was originally $48. He came down. I think it was like $55. Just a great cover. Look at those shoes, those legs. Soldier of Fortune. I've yet to read one of these. I'm hoping that it's going to be really good. That's from 1951. I bought that from Quality Comics. And guys, I have some huge Golden Age books coming. I cannot wait to share them with you. But the last 3 books here are pretty big themselves. Glad to have these in the collection. Here's another book that the seller lowered the price, sent me an offer. And, you know, I researched the book for a while because when I had it on my watch list, I just thought the price was just a little bit more than I wanted to pay. So out of this series, it's the only one that's not scanned on the internet on any database. Kind of hinting to me that's probably scarcer than the rest. And it was complete. I asked the seller to please check the page count. He did. So it was complete. It's a little rough, but it's still attached. And it probably needs a little bit of work and a little bit of a press. But Women Outlaws. I remember when I had none of these in my collection. And again, I thought to myself, these are too pricey, and I wouldn't want to. I couldn't pay, you know, up for them, and I probably would never own them. And so, finally got this one. No, this is number 4 from February of '49, and this is actually the Canadian edition. And what did I pay for this? $59.10 with shipping and tax. And it did come from Canada. Just a great Good Girl cover. And if you know me and you've watched my channel, I'm trying to put together one of the most extensive Western Good Girl Golden Age collections around. And I know that, for as I know, I'm one of the few, there are a few of us, but not too many of us, that collect that subgenre. Okay, on to the next 2 books. The last one has a nightmarish story. This book is really cool. And I wish I would have... Hold on, guys. I got to grab something off the wall. Oh, where's that book? Sorry, guys. I'm going to grab this book because I got it. I'll explain this other book here. I'm ill-prepared. All right. So I picked up this fantastic book right here. One that I know I've never owned. It is quite scarce. It's called Lucky 7 Comics, and it's got a flamethrower cover. Check that flamethrower out, man. It looks like some kind of vacuum cleaner or something. Really cool looking. You got your bondage. You got your horror. You got the superhero rushing in. You got, like, down in a castle. And it said, Reed, Pioneer, Sir Gallagher, Dick Royce, and many other new features. Well, the odd thing about that is none of these people appear in this book. But this is from 1944. It's number 1. So I got this last year for my birthday. This one I just got to pull off the wall for you. Sharp Comics, number 2. But what do you see? It says Reed, Pioneer. And so all those characters that are set up here in this book, they actually do not. They appear in here. And as I got this and researched it, number 1 was like a ghost. No one had ever seen the cover. The cover was not in any databases. And now after researching, it revealed that this is actually the number 1 issue. So I can only surmise maybe they didn't meet the deadline for the comic, and they had the cover done, and they probably threw it on some material they already had finished, which is a lot of funny strips and stuff like that, nothing real superhero-ish. And then finally, when the issue was done, they created a new cover and published it as number 2. That's my theory. I don't know. But these 2 books, so glad to have them in the collection, and they're just one of a kinds. They're so... Okay, so last book. This is Sensation 47. It's a horror book. Horror cover, Terror of the Tycoon Club. It looks really nice, but it is missing the centerfold. And it was brittle. It had a brittle spine. It did break when I pressed it to get it to, to look a little nicer because it had a big spine roll. So I took Elmer's glue and I glued the spine around the back of the book. Because you know what? I love my books. I do what I want with them. And I like defying. I like to be the rebel. So it's my book and I don't care. I want to read it. I want to put it together. And I glued it. Yes, I did. So this book showed up as delivered. So I kept checking and I got, okay, so it starts out that I got it from Four Color Comics. Shout out to Rhonda, the wife of she's co-owner, really great. I called her, she gave me her personal number, we talked. Anyways, I saw this for sale. They listed it a new listing for 150 on eBay, and then they had Weird Science, I forget what number, for $50 on eBay. So I had talked to her in the past when I bought from her. She said, come to the website. Everything's a lot cheaper. I went to the website. I tried to buy the books. None of my cards would go through. None of them. I was getting frustrated. So they opened at 9. So I started calling. Nobody answered the phone. I'm calling. I called for an hour. Finally, Rhonda answers. She's like, oh, we had problem with flooding. And A&T came and messed up, and they cut the lines for our phones downstairs. And so we can't use credit cards on our site yet. Our phone messages, we don't get them. I said, well, I've been calling. You told me to call and buy the books offline, and I want these 2 books. Oh, she said, I'm sorry. Weird Science is sold already. I said, that's not fair. I said, I was really the first one to go after it. Well, I can't do anything about that. Sensation. Someone made an offer. I'll wait an hour. If they don't pay, then I'll let you buy it. And I was telling her, that's really not a fair way to do it, because I was the first one. I could have bought them if your website worked. So she goes, if I could pull the book, I'll let you buy it. So she was able to pull the book. I did get it for $125, which I thought was a great deal, missing centerfold. It's got Mr. Terrific in it, I think it's Our Man or Dr. Midnight, of course, the Wonder Woman story. And so she put the correct address on the package. When she took it down to the post office and they printed out the label, instead of putting 62nd Place, they put 62nd Avenue. So when the book said delivered, it wasn't in my mailbox. I started going nuts. I went down to the post office. The guy was really friendly and helped me out a lot. I can't remember his name. He showed me a picture. It said Avenue actually on the printed label. So my neighbor, who's 3 blocks or 4 blocks down from me, has that address. And I went over there, and the owner of the house, the lady I've dealt with before, she's like, oh, no, I didn't get it. So I went home all disappointed. I'm just walking in the house, and I see a car pulling up around my truck. And I'm like, who is that? That can't be my wife. So this lady gets out. She's like, oh, hi, I'm so-and-so's daughter. I pulled it from the mailbox. Here it is. And I was like, because I was calling Rhonda. We were texting. We were calling each other, because eventually it was going to come down. She had to pay for the book. And I know she didn't want to. And I didn't want her to. So I'm really happy we got it. It's safely in the collection. And it's another nightmarish story dealing with that dang post office. I mean, the postal worker knows my name, knows that I get comic books. But I guess he figures, well, I have to deliver it to what the label says, even though I know it's not their comic or their package. But anyways, you guys, what do you think? Killer cover. I'm just glad I got an issue. Finally, a second Golden Age Wonder Woman that I own. So that's it. That's all I got. Nighttiger, peace out.